Hey YouTube, how's it going? This is Psycho Yiko on WYPSYT. For this next live stream, I'm going to be sharing a slide I found on Instagram that is filled with so much cringe. I'm talking God tier cringe. I'm talking so much cringe that the person who came up with this stuff must have had to work very hard not to laugh while writing all of this stuff on paper. It's like she pulled this stuff out of her ass and jotted it on paper. And I even have some people in the stream as we speak who have decided to join. Leon Calavera and Firelord Kursan. Thanks to both of you. Thanks to the two of you for deciding to be here.
A pleasure.
Yep, I'm quite intrigued of what we're going to be looking at today in this stream.
Absolutely. As you should. Oh, I decided some people who decided to join, but I'm not going to share their comments, at least for now, because I want to get down to business. So to start, the person who wrote this was Dr. Judith H. Katz. This is the person who wrote this stuff.
That's if her doctorate credentials are even legitimate.
Yeah. But Dr. Judith Katz said that white middle-class culture is often viewed as a standard, and therefore all other forms and expressions of culture are judged in comparison to this norm, according to Skeggs in 2004. Because it is so normalized, it can be hard to see, which only adds to this powerful hold. Now, to start, we're going to be taking a look at the first slide. White culture is defined as a couple with dependent children, which is bullshit. My reason for this is because it's normal for children to be dependent at this age. They are still growing. It's racist in itself to assume that only white people are portrayed as being a nuclear family with dependent children. This is called a hasty generalization fallacy. I was actually watching an episode 2 of Super Nanny called The Merrill Family with a single mother whose husband was deployed to Afghanistan. She had 4 adopted children, 2 from Guatemala, which is in Central America, and 2 from Ghana, which I think is in Western Africa. The kids were crying to their mother every night, saying how much they needed her and shit due to their nighttime anxieties. So that goes to show that dependent children is not a white factor. It pertains to other children from different races. You know what I'm saying? And the husband being the breadwinner and head of household also does not apply to whites. There are Asian families like that too. There are actually dads in Asia who actually do have high expectations for their daughters and sons. So this isn't just this isn't just a thing with white families too. And the fact that white kids are portrayed as having their own bedrooms is also bullshit. I've been having to share a room with my siblings when I was a kid, you know? And you see that in other movies too. The Christmas Story, another good example of white kids having to share a room. There was actually even an episode 2 of Super Nanny where a couple of prissy white British girls actually had to share a room. Like, come on.
Yeah, I feel some of these people get their doctorate from wherever the fuck they get it from just to speak bullshit like this. That's what it really boils down to.
Mm-hmm. Just share these right quick. It started. Now let's go on to the next slide here. Holidays apparently are based on Christian backgrounds. Now that being said, there are some truths, but most of it is bullshit. I mean, what white holidays have Christian background to them? Christmas, Halloween, and Easter are of pagan origin. And Hanukkah, too, is of Jewish origin. Like, holy shit, this dumb bitch is uneducated. I mean, the only white holiday I know of Christian origin is St. Patrick's Day. But holy shit, most of the holidays I know of don't even celebrate female accomplishments that I give. And that's not the whites that are the only ones responsible for this. I mean, I could argue that May 18th, Haitian Flag Day, which Haiti is a country filled with predominantly black people, they celebrate a man, too, who worked to fight for Haiti's independence. Toussaint Louverture was his name. And not all of white history is based on the northern European immigrants. Some of these people could be from southern Europe, like Spain, Italy, and Greece. And I mean, yeah, white history focuses on the British Empire because the British Parliament was the enemy. We had to fight them off in order for this country to be independent, but that's beside the point. Now, when I was in high school, the teachers and the students did talk about World War II, which isn't even mentioned at all in this slide. And Greek and Roman traditions aren't entirely considered white either, because there are actually people in Greece who have a darker complexion, like a caramel complexion to be exact. Hey, Outer Heaven.
God damn.
You're muted, by the way.
Psycho.
Yeah, the next slide is pure cringe, too. Like, what they're saying, too, is that whiteness is defined by adhering to rigid time schedules. But how the hell is that a white thing? And how is viewing time as a commodity whiteness, too? The way I see it, I mean, keeping track of time is useful. It encourages you to be more manageable with limited resources. Like, what the hell? And a Protestant work ethic is not such a bad thing, too. And yes, I, as a white man, say hard work is the key to success. You work before you play. If you didn't meet your goals, you didn't work hard enough. That itself is up for debate, but the other two factors I mentioned are true. I mean, you don't just get to do what you want to do, you do the things that you need to do, which has got to do with being, I mean, like, what has that got to do with being white? And that's not all. Rugged individualism is also a white factor. Self-reliance is important, yes. The individual is the primary unit. I mean, if it weren't for people, not everything would be happening now. Independence and autonomy should be rewarded. It shows that you have gumption and character. And yes, you control your environment and your destiny. No one can control it for you. And yes, you do get what you deserve. That is how I think. And I'm sure that's how both of you think too.
Yep.
Yes.
And get ready for the next slide. This next slide is going to be pure cringe too. And according to this woman who wants to make everything about race, a sense of being competitive is also a white factor, which I could say is bullshit, because if that were a white factor, you wouldn't have a bunch of black or biracial basketball players in the NBA, if that were the case. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
Or the NFL, as of that matter.
Exactly. Exactly. And for the next slide, we have whiteness in communication, defined by the King's English rules, which apparently is talking in a formal way. But there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you're going to talk from the inner city, at least use that to fit in with your friends, you know? If you're talking like that on your job, I'm sure you'll have a boss who won't think that's classy, you know? That's just how people are. And what I even find hypocritical is how the woman states that whiteness is defined by avoiding conflict and being white and being polite. And on the previous slide, it states that aggressiveness and introversion are the main factors for competition, which I find contradictory. And no intimacy is considered a white trait. I mean, if that were true, then you wouldn't have so many white people, or even a lot of people in Europe, North America, or even Australia. I mean, would it? And I never even thought that whiteness is defined as having no emotion. And I've discussed personal life with my coworkers before, and politeness pertains to all races. And the fact that showing no emotion is considered, this is like more of a gender thing, the way I look at it. I mean, I thought that guys in general were always thought of as having no emotions, and only women. But quote me if I'm wrong, I think it's really manly to show that you have emotions too. Because, I mean, if you're showing your emotions, it shows that you're not fake. And being fake is not manly at all. And it even states too that, I'm trying to say this, and I always thought that justice was defined by the Code of Hammurabi. It broadly states that the person who gets punished should face the same level of severity that the convict has inflicted on the victim. An eye for an eye, basically. Protecting property and entitlements shouldn't be seen as only a white thing either, but it is apparently. And the next slide states that whiteness is defined when people see wealth as being worthy. I see it as true. If people are rich, people could use that wealth for good causes. These people are called philanthropists. And there are actually black people who seem to think that wealth equals worth too. I mean, this shouldn't be seen as how whiteness is defined. And all races should see human existence as heavily valued, not just one race. Now, it's really hard to say when you have other races who are filthy rich too. I mean, surely there are blacks who are living filthy rich too. I mean, take like Oprah Winfrey, for instance, or the Jacksons, Janet Jackson, Jesse Jackson, Michael Jackson, who passed away, rest his soul. I'm trying to think. Robert Mugabe, he was actually the president of Zimbabwe. And I do believe that your work does define how you are. I mean, if you work in maintenance, that's because you're a good technician. If you work in a kitchen, you must be very fastidious and very good at checking food expiration, preparing food, purchasing ingredients, cooking and serving it. And yes, you should respect authority, but it's earned, not given. My boss respects me because I show respect while working. And whiteness is also defined by objective and linear rationale in thinking, which I think is bullshit too. Because if that were the case, I'm white as we speak, and there are people who could argue that I'm giving my 2 cents based on feelings. Cause and effect relationships are demonstrated in all kinds of literature. I mean, all of literature has cause and effect too. It's not just English literature. African literature has cause and effect. There's some Chinese folklore that has cause and effect in it too. So things happen, and there are reasons for why. I don't understand why common sense is not so common. Quantitative emphasis is also apparently a white thing, which it shouldn't be, because there are foreign scientists in Asia, I'm sure, who use that kind of research strategy. And last, but far from least, what I think is bullshit is the slide that's being demonstrated here. Apparently, white aesthetics are based on European culture, and woman's beauty is based on blonde, thin Barbie. If that were true, then why are there plenty of white men who are attracted to East Asian women? That does happen. So you can't just say that blonde white women being attractive to men is a white thing. I mean, there are white guys who actually like Latina women too, and there are black guys who actually do like white women. That is true. I mean, I don't even understand where this logic is coming from. I really fucking don't. And that's not and men's attractiveness apparently is based on economic status, power, and intellect. Now that is not true too if you are not that superficial. And steak and potatoes, bland is best. Bullshit. If that were a white thing, I would like to drink plain black coffee every day, which is not what everyone likes to drink. I mean, every time I go to Dunkin' Donuts, I always order an iced caramel craze signature latte, large, mind you, and I always finish it. Plus, you're not going to believe this, I even like to take cream cheese and put them on French fries. It's good that way. I mean, just recently, I even started taking chicken fingers and putting them between 2 pieces of toasted white or rye bread with cream cheese. And that being said, bland is an opinion, not a fact. Steak and potatoes can have flavor depending on how they're done. I mean, you can add blue cheese on steak to enhance the flavor. You can even put gravy on potatoes too. Like, this isn't rocket science. Like, what the hell? Some numbskull wrote that shit. I know it. Oh, yeah. Numbskull did write this. I'm actually going to share with you the woman who actually wrote this. The quote-unquote Dr. Judith H. Katz. This is the woman who was writing all this shit. And it's a white woman, too. I'm actually surprised how she was able to put that down on paper and not laugh. Large frozen chocolate is my favorite at Dunkin'. Yeah. I really like the creamy white caramel craze signature lattes because it really tends to balance out the bitterness of the coffee. You know what I'm saying? Because chocolatey flavors, I think they just add emphasis to the bitter coffee flavor. So that's why I like vanilla cream flavored coffee. But that's probably just me. But I'm kind of going off topic. So I wonder what her sources are for all this information. Did she write this out of her ass, or did she put all this on paper? Hang on a minute. I'm going to find out what her source is. Hang on a minute. You guys are going to get a kick out of this.
I swear, some of it does not match. Some of it does not actually match the factual basis, what she's trying to put it out.
Yeah. She probably wrote this out of her ass. Oh, I'm sure she did. I'm sure she did. Anyways, let's share the screen of the sources that she used for this. This is her source right here. Dude, trust me. I know, Sonia, that's the question. What is this crap that she's writing? I know, right, Dylan? This is so dense. It makes her look about as smart. Oh, wait, nothing. Come to think of it, I'm going to find out more about this, shall I? Let's look more about this white culture by Dr. Judith H. Katz.
Because to me, it appears to me that... Fuck out of here.
White culture. Where's the value in talking about it? It's so ephemeral, intangible, complex. How can you get your arms around it? It's so hard to see, particularly if you're white. Still, especially for people involved in organizational development work, it is important for us all to understand white culture because many organizations have assumptions, values, and beliefs based on white culture, deeply embedded in their policies, practices, and styles for success. For example, in the manner of speech, behavior, dress, and aesthetic of the organization, in the favored writing style and accepted language of the organization, in the paintings and artwork that fills the hallways, the golf course close to anyone other than white men for decades. It is only recently that cafeterias and food services in many organizations have reflect a more diverse workforce, and clearly benefit programs have long reflected the idealized white nuclear family. Now, from all the slides I've been sharing, I really don't see how having 2 or 3 children is seen as a white thing. Surely there are black families too that have white 2 or 3 black kids, you know? So this isn't... Oh, Leon, what happened?
He kind of left. I have no idea what the fuck happened.
Yo, Lady Emily, you want in? I'm gonna share a link with all you guys in case you guys want in. God, yeah, this woman is crazy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even want to think about that. Nope. Oh, I see Outer Heaven decided to join. Hey, Outer Heaven, what's up?
Hey, what's up? So, what the hell am I hearing this from this crazy woman talking about this white something, this and that stuff? Like, you're the one talking about this. Yeah.
Exactly. Apparently, self-reliance, independence, and being self-reliable and having a sense of gumption is seen as whiteness. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I know they want us like I'm not white or anything like this. Like I said, they want us like they want white people to feel like white guilt for their racism and all this shit, like white guilt bullshit. Like they want them to be guilty. Or like what the fuck, get the fuck out of here! Like please stop this. This is more division.
Yeah, it's being more divisive. That's all it is. It's
Like,
being
I don't hate
divisive.
white people. I have white friends too. Not all white people are bad. It's I don't base on their skin color, it's on their actions. Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. All these people say, "Oh, we're being oppressed." Like, you're not the oppressive ones. Like, really, like. No, you are. You guys have been. You build everything. You own. You own. You guys are the majority of this country, and they complain they're oppressed. Like, no, they're not. It's like I don't know what to say. This is why I don't talk about this to certain people, because they get so sensitive and shit these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about whiteness being based on Christian religions? I mean, like I said before, Easter, Christmas, and Halloween are they're pagan. This isn't like a Christian thing, for fuck's sake.
Exactly. It's all fucking pagan. Exactly. Christmas and Easter and all that shit is all pagan. Exactly. All fucking pagan. Everybody should know. Look at the origins of it.
Yeah. Pumpkins, jack-o'-lanterns, Christmas trees, Easter eggs, all of those aspects of those holidays are pagan.
Exactly. Yeah, and speaking of which, tomorrow's the pagan holiday. Easter, the damn bunny. Hello.
Yeah, the Easter Bunny too is pagan.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't care much about Easter. I don't care if they celebrate it. I'm not against people celebrating it. I don't care much about it. This is pointless. It's a pagan holiday, but whatever. It's all the Easter bunny, the goddamn chocolates, whatever.
What the fuck is this article? Nothing much. Side Hustler Go3. This is just some woman named Dr. Judith H. Katz, who I hardly doubt is even a doctor or a professor, who wrote all this shit on paper and didn't even bother to cite her sources. This is coming from her own damn mind you, I'm pretty sure. And she doesn't even provide any sources, which I hardly doubt she even does. Like, I tried even looking at a PDF article about looking and taking a deeper dive into all this stuff, and she doesn't even bother to have any of the works cited, really.
Right. Interesting.
I want to find out more about this woman.
Yeah, her credentials and where that she's pulling this shit from.
Dr. Judith Katz is a psychiatrist in New York, and is affiliated with White Plains Hospital. She received her medical degree from New York University Grossman School of Medicine and has been in practice between 6 to 10 years. Is this the same woman? Let me see. I'm trying to find out. I wonder if this is her.
It might be her.
Oh yeah, this is her. Fueled by her passion for addressing systemic barriers, known for her boundless energy and sharp analytical mind, Judith Katz has distinguished herself as a thought leader. She's thought of herself, distinguished herself as a thought leader, practitioner, educator, and strategist for more than 40 years. She has created new paradigms in organization development and pioneered cutting-edge approaches to white awareness, inclusion, the leveraging of differences, convert processes, and strategic change. But if that's the case, why is she assuming that, again, being white is only defined by having 3 or 4 kids in a nuclear family with kids that are dependent? Again, I'm sure there are black families, too, that have 3 or 4 children. There are Chinese families that have 2, 3, 4 children, you know? This isn't just a white factor.
Yeah, exactly.
Judith began her career by earning a doctorate degree in education from the University of Massachusetts in 1976. Do you know who else earned a doctorate degree in education from the University of Massachusetts? Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby.
Yeah, apparently he also earned a doctorate degree in education.
Mm-hmm.
I'll even search it up. See? Massachusetts, May 8th, 2004, Doctor of Music. That's when he earned this degree. And how ironic, too, that she also earned it, too.
Mm-hmm.
After continuing in academia, Judith joined the Khalil Jameson Consulting Group in 1985 and currently serves as executive vice president. She has led many transformational change initiatives in the United States and around the globe, partnering with such organizations as Allstate, Ecolab Incorporated, Eileen Fisher Incorporated, Merck, which is a pharmaceutical company, the City of San Diego, Telecoms of Singapore, and United Airlines. She also co-created the covert process concept and lab with Bob Marshak. Judith has been widely recognized for her extensive contributions. She was named a pioneer of diversity by Profiles in Diversity Journal in 2007, and a legend of diversity by the International Society of Diversity and Inclusion Professionals in 2012. In 2014, Judith received the Organizational Development Network's Lifetime Achievement Award, and she's also received ODN's Larry Porter Award 2009 and the Outstanding Achievement in Global Work Award 2012. But the fact that she's writing this book and receiving all of these special awards and degrees and all this research, it really surprises me how she's actually able to write a book like this and not even provide any of her sources. I mean, she's literally writing a book that's subjective. It's influenced by feelings. The problem is that social media is what spawned the Satan reincarnates like her and all these other blue-haired pronoun screeching. Yeah, Darklist. I'm afraid that's sad to say. I'm afraid that is a reality. You can't be biased like this, but what can you do?
Lady M lies in the backstage.
Hey, Lady M Light.
What's up?
Hey, lady, what's up?
Greetings.
So have you been reading or hearing all the slides that I've been sharing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you have to say about this shit? Apparently this is white culture.
Get out of my face. I can't stand that garbage. It's getting on my nerves.
I mean, like, doesn't this woman bother to realize that there are Chinese families too that have 2 or 3 children? There are black families too that have 2 or 3 children.
Yeah.
Oh, there are actually some Middle Eastern people too who have like a family of 2 or 3 children, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And what this woman is saying too is that holidays are based on Christian religions, which that's not entirely the case. A majority of the holidays we celebrate are pagan. This isn't exactly. Not Christian.
It's pagan, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And the history is based on Northern European immigrants' experience in the United States, which that's not entirely true. There are actually some immigrants too who are European that actually come from Spain, Portugal, Italy, and Greece. And ironically, some people from those countries actually do have a much darker complexion. You know, they're like caramel complexion. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And Easter is tomorrow too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my day's been going pretty good. Just thought I'd make a little stream, sharing all this bull crap. And I'm not trying to make this entirely on the woman who shared this Instagram post, but this woman's name is Leanna. She's also known by her alias Chronically Chick. She was the one who shared all this stuff. Like as if all this were factual, when this ain't even entirely factual. It's subjective. And but this woman hasn't been active on Instagram either, too, because apparently she's suffering from chronic fatigue syndrome. So she hasn't really been active, you know, as much. But I wonder where this woman has even gotten all this stuff from. And I'm going to be keeping this live stream up. I want to get this up to about an hour at least, depending on who shows up on who doesn't show up. I don't know if Leon left intentionally, but... And do you believe that adhering to rigid time schedules is seen as only a white factor, Lady M Light?
No. I mean, don't know.
This is common sense. I mean, you have to be to work on time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It applies to everyone, not just white people. Exactly. Everybody has like their own responsibility. I have to be to work at time. Get my ass up at like 2 in the morning. Get to coffee and drink coffee. Get to traffic. Like no one's like responsibility. Like what the fuck? It's not. And she's thinking like so white thing. Get the fuck out of here, lady. You stupid lady.
Yeah. None of this garbage is all just white. No. No. Mm-mm.
Exactly. Yeah, I know.
Self-reliance is also apparently a white thing.
What? We're human, for God's sake. What queen
Why
color?
can't people like her just open their rapid, crusty eyes and learn to acknowledge the fact that we're all human beings, regardless of our skin color?
Fucking
Bingo!
exactly.
Bingo!
Bingo! Exactly.
Correct the fucking mundo.
As I would say, what am I thinking of? Why can't people look at me and stop judging me by the color of my? Go listen to "Run and Tell That" from Hairspray. There you go. That's the song.
Yeah.
That's the song.
Exactly.
I haven't seen Hairspray though. I mean, I remember when I was in chorus, I sung one of the songs from that musical. I forgot what the name of the song was called. I was in 9th grade when I had to perform it.
I'm probably gonna guess "You Can't Stop the Beat."
Yeah, you can't stop the beat. Exactly. Yes, that was the song. Yeah.
Yeah, John Travolta was in that movie, that the original one. No, the musical, but the movie. John Travolta was a woman in that movie. Like, what the fuck? Why are you think that woman in that movie? Don't even give me the story. That was weird.
Competition.
Never
Being
mind.
number one, winning at all costs, winner-loser dichotomy, action orientation, master and control nature, must always do something about a situation, aggressiveness and extroversion. That's bullshit. There are other people of different races that are like that way too. Again, if this pertained to just white people, you wouldn't have black people in the NFL or the NBA for that matter.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as I'm aware, football is like the most aggressive sport out there.
Right.
And not only white, and this again, being hardworking and being a tough NFL player or working in the football league does not apply to white people. I mean, you might as well say that to Colin Kaepernick, who actually is in the NFL. I mean, I know he kneeled for the American flag, but that's beside the point too. Because I'm just tired of this divisive, hateful behavior that was caused by social media and all these enabling cucklords.
Mm-hmm.
The enemy too, Darkless Forex or Darkless. I mean, the internet it's a curse, but it's a blessing at the same time. I mean, if it weren't for the internet, I wouldn't have stumbled across this garbage and been able to make a live stream addressing this.
Exactly.
But one thing that has been failed to put it out there, and I think that they are deliberately leaving a part out, is to work smarter, not just harder.
Exactly.
How can you omit that part when obviously should have put when obviously you need to work and think smarter, not harder, because quite frankly it's extremely disgusting why people do not think smarter. And let me be honest here, even if you are, this is all based on a white this is all based on a white culture that is simply not factually true. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of it are true, but for the majority of time, this is extremely nonsensical. You need to think smarter. You need to work smarter, not just working harder. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
She just left Lady M Light.
I think it's her internet. Network issue.
Yes, I know that always happens. She'll come back.
Hey, hang on a minute. I'm trying to find I want to see if Dice happened to get my message.
Oh, Dice! I've been hearing from him in a while.
Oh, he didn't get it. Oh well.
Fuck.
Okay, well, let's go back to that slide again and address some more things.
Very well. Oh, wait. She's in. Lady M is on backstage.
All right.
Wait,
Yes. She's here.
Yeah. And I don't know what this woman was stating, this Judith Katz person, is... I'm trying to say this. How is whiteness defined as attractiveness based on the blonde hair Barbie look? Because if you ask me, I'm sure that there are plenty of white people who like a lot of Asian babes too, and Latino women as well.
True.
And I don't know what you guys like either, what your preferences are, but I'm not going to question that, as if you want to keep that on the down low, that's up to you.
Yeah.
Let me share this slide again.
Like, it's 2023. Can we all just get along? But unfortunately, people are bringing up this crap about this, like what you're showing us, Psycho. Like, come on, like really, like this is why we're not moving forward. And everyone's like, and when there's something, it's like people pull some nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, people should have should be having the same kind of punishment. I mean, this shouldn't be a racial aspect, but it is apparently in some cases these days. But again, we shouldn't all be having a pissing contest trying to determine who should get the lesser punishment or who should get the bigger sentence based on skin color. It should all be equal. But,
exactly, yes, but unfortunately, it isn't. Unfortunately, it's not. Unfortunately, that's some people don't think that way.
Yeah, but apparently, all this is doing this is just finger pointing. That's all it is, and finger pointing simply cannot work.
Yes, race baiting, finger pointing, whatever you want to call it.
And this is going to be controversial in itself too, but aren't you guys familiar about like all of us have tried funding, to pay for reparations, which has backfired and been foiled before. Last year, there's been this controversy about all the money that was going towards Black Lives Matter, and apparently the woman who was behind all those funds was using it to fund for mansions. Haven't you heard about that kind of?
Yes, I heard about that. That's been exactly.
Well, that really goes to show, too, that greed is not just a white thing. It's also a black thing, too,
Mm-hmm.
Money talks.
Yeah. Crazy.
I want to present my screen again. Do you believe that not showing any emotion is considered a white factor? Obviously not.
Of course not. What the hell? Everybody has emotions.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that people don't show emotions, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I've always thought of not showing emotions as being some kind of, how is this? A gender thing. It's all about gender. It's not really about race. It's more or less about gender. But it shouldn't be about gender, I believe too that if whites are capable of showing emotions, that's tough because it shows that you're not fake. And if you're not and if you are fake, then that isn't tough. Is that the way I look at it?
Hey, what's up? I'm back.
Damn.
Do you think justice should be seen as whiteness should be based on the English common law when it comes to justice? Because personally, the earlier forms of justice, I believe, is based on the Code of Hammurabi. That was like the earliest form of law that we've ever had, as far as I'm aware. It broadly states that eye for an eye, basically stating that the convicted or those who should be punished for causing trouble to the victim should face the same level of punishment that's just as severe as the pain that they've caused for the victim.
Right, yeah. Mm.
And protecting property and entitlements is not a white thing either. Everyone's allowed to have something that belongs to them that they really like or really admire. It's a shame MLK must be rolling in his grave right now ever since this woke menace has infected in our country.
Yep.
Well, one could argue that, but in a sense, too, Martin Luther King was probably had a lot more socialist viewpoint than some of the people here in the country don't even bother to admire. I mean, he was against the Vietnam War, I believe, too, which was considered a very unorthodox opinion for the time, around the time frame at least. I want to check that out, actually. Was MLK against the Vietnam War?
I think that was Malcolm X or Muhammad Ali. They avoided the draft war at that time. Yeah.
Stanford University even agrees with that. Later that year, King framed the issue of war in Vietnam as a moral issue. As a minister of the gospel, he said, "I consider war an evil. I must cry out when I see war escalated at any point." In this case, opposing the Vietnam War.
Yeah, he spoke of that as well. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be asking like a little question. I'm going to be kind of going off topic or anything. Do any of you guys believe that the government secretly may have been planning Martin Luther King's assassination without us even knowing?
Well, there were rumors that there were like sources that they say that MLK was like interested at FBI. They were keeping tabs on him, and also Malcolm X too, because during that time, because a lot of black people follow him and listen to him and all that. I don't know, because the FBI were keeping tabs on him, and plus people were trying to assassinate him. Man, he was assassinated. Remember that? In that hotel that now is a museum.
Some people are even saying too that the long accused criminal behind Martin Luther King's assassination was apparently James Earl Ray, but some sites or some sources say that James Earl Ray might have been a patsy and that the government was secretly planning Martin Luther King's assassination the whole time. How did this subs? I don't know. I wish I knew.
So boy,
Go guy.
Hey, Pink Cut.
So have you been listening to any of this shit that I've been I've been sharing, reading any of the slides that I've been sharing?
Pink-eyed.
He's muted.
Yeah. Have you been reading any of the slides or listening to any of the slides that I've been sharing?
Yeah.
It's bullshit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he agrees with it. It's bullshit, of course.
I cannot confirm it, but it is rumored that the FBI and the government had planned to assassinate MLK because they viewed him as a threat and labeled him as a communist. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, at the time, don't get me wrong. I don't think communism is effective. I mean, it has good intentions. I mean, the end goal of communism is equality, but it hasn't really worked effectively, at least from the way I see it. I mean, at the time, the Cold War was still ongoing. I mean, this was the 60s, for Christ's sake. The 60s or the 70s when Martin Luther King was giving his speeches. And people were still shooken up about communism, the fear of communism, and how it was going to affect the United States. And being against the Vietnam War, I mean, it was seen as being for the Vietnam War, it was seen as a good thing because we were fighting against communism. That was the American mindset. I mean, the American masses, I'm sure many of them did not like communism. So for him to be against communism, again, it was a very bold thing. I say it was very bold, but I can't really assume that Martin Luther King is a communist. I really can't say that. I mean, because he does agree in equality. I mean, he did believe that little black boys and little black girls should hold hands with little white boys and little white girls. So that's equality.
Yeah, he wanted equality. That's all he's asking. That's all he does. It wanted to stop the hatred. He was trying to fight for equal rights. That's all he was asking, and it was being peaceful. That's all he wants.
I agree. This is bullshit. Like, why is this racist woman even here? Why? I don't know. It's self-guilt. That's what it is. I mean, honestly, I'm just gonna say this. I don't feel guilty. I really don't feel guilty for all the things that the white people caused the black people because I wasn't even around when it was going on. And
Exactly.
it's not like I'm not going to I don't think it's common for just some black person to just look at some random white guy and say, "Oh my God, I despise you, you slave owner." And I'm not going to just look at some black person and say, "Oh, black person, I'm really sorry for all the damage that my ancestors have caused you." What's the point of even apologizing? I mean, you weren't there, you know?
Exactly. You can't blame some random white person or random black person what something happened years ago. Like, get the fuck out of here. Exactly.
I mean, I'm a victim of circumstance just as much as you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's stupid and pointless. It's ridiculous.
But yeah, there's plenty of people that still talk about that stuff and bring it up.
I know, it's irrelevant. Like, shut the fuck up. We don't need to hear that. It's in the past. Get over it. Move on.
I mean, it's important to bring up the past too. I mean, at least to some degree. I mean, because this is history classes. I mean, we've been talking about this in history all the time. The slavery of the blacks too, how the whites enslaved the blacks. But this is common too. There were actually African kings and queens that sold their black brothers and sisters to the European colonialists for gold.
Right.
It's true. So again, the African kings and queens in Africa, they were just as complicit as the colonial whites were,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't seem to bring that up, but hey, that's just go figure. I don't know why people don't bring that up. Now, with that being said, I agree that bringing up things like this are important, the history of how blacks are mistreated, but what's really important is how can we get together? How can we bring all the races together instead of pointing the finger? There has to be a different way of doing it. Surely there has to. It's like, why should I apologize and give reparations for something I was not responsible for from the sins of my ancestors? They are never a slave, and I've never owned a slave. It's just, yeah, I know. I think we should take the time to sit down and come up with ideas of how we could find ways of unifying different races without trying to point the finger, trying to make it better, trying to make things better than it was before. I mean, it's okay to talk about history. Because we can't just pretend that history never happened, because it did. But what's really important too is how we can make it better. I wasn't around when racism exists either. Like, this isn't 1800s anymore. It's 2023. People, wake up. Yeah. What I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you said, can we just all get along and not have problems or issues or judge people before you get to know them?
Yep.
I'm gonna bring up something really similar, kind of funny in this sense, just for the sake of it, since we're actually talking about this now, since how we just talked about from one of those slides about white culture to talking about this. If any of you guys been on my channel, don't you remember when I talked about this docu-series, this quote-unquote docu-series called Everything's Gonna Be All White? I'll send a link to all of you guys just for the sake of it, because I actually did talk about this.
I think I might have once came across that before.
Can I share a slide with all of you guys? Would any of you guys like to watch my review? There isn't really much music in it, and I edited it out here and there and everything. Would any of you guys want to watch it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a live stream, so might as well, And we're talking about this kind of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this was a year ago.
Yeah.
What? What the fuck?
Man, oh man. Didn't think I'd be talking about this just days after I finished my Doom 3 gameplay, but here we go. So apparently there's this new documentary series that's been airing on Showtime called Everything's Going to Be All White. For those of you who are not aware, it's basically a documentary series that is intended to highlight the growing issue of systemic racism in today's society. A documentary series that was directed by Sasha Jenkins, and with a whopping 1 out of 10 on the Internet Movie Database, 7% who have liked it, and only 2% worth of people who have liked it on the Rotten Tomatoes website. Just by reading all the critics' ratings, I'm pretty sure that all of you are going to realize that it's not going to be a great documentary as the people who directed it try to make it out to be. Even when you look at the trailer, you can clearly tell that it's not going to be good. In the trailer, what they do is that they basically trash on white people in general, and when the white people who are being trashed address it, all of a sudden that's considered white fragility. Why the hell not? White fragility, who would have guessed? If it's considered white fragility to talk about how pathetic it is, then why are there people of color who this documentary series is being catered to trashing it? Talking about how pathetic it is, talking about how stupid it is, talking about how it doesn't help anything. All it does is create more divisiveness. Are you going to say that that's white fragility? Oh, wait, that can't be the case, because one of the people who actually defended it literally admitted that the people of color who don't like it people downvoted it into oblivion. One particular racial slur, which I will not get into any detail to. But I'm pretty sure many of you can tell by the raccoon emoji what she really means by that. And look how it goes down. People are tearing her apart. People are saying that she's full of shit, basically. So I'm going to pause it right there. So that woman who I just shared with you, that Twitter post, that's the woman who was in that documentary. I'm going to get back to that part again. So the woman's name is Amanda Seales. She was in the documentary, Everything's Gonna Be All White, and she's mixed, mind you, but she was going around saying that people who take issue with this documentary series, Everything's Gonna Be All White, is either a racist or a particular slur, a COO, and the N letter. Which she pretty much contradicted herself. She's saying that white people taking issue with this documentary series are racist, and yet at the same time, she proceeds to call black people who don't like this docu-series a particular racial slur. I mean, how contradictory is that?
Wow.
I know, right?
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
And look what people say. Look what people say in the Twitter section.
Oh my god. I never watched Showtime. I don't
Yeah, by reading all that jazz, I'm pretty sure most of you can already tell that it's not going to be good. And how I could tell personally that it was not going to be good was how the fact that one of the guys in the trailer literally states that white people everywhere should feel responsibility for how the slaves were treated back in the day.
Should white people today feel any responsibility for slavery?
Hell yeah.
That was awesome.
So this guy clearly thinks that whites should be
put that
held
in there.
responsible for all the pain and the suffering that the slaves had to endure all the way back in the 1800s. Of everything, that's one thing that I really don't understand. I don't understand that logic in the least, because how can someone like me be held responsible for something that I had no part in long before I was even born, long before my mom and dad were even born? I really don't see what the whole concept is behind this documentary. I don't see how it's a thing. I don't see how basically shitting on white people in general really helps tackle the subject of racism that's still a thing in today's society. I just don't. I don't see how using this idea to get money quickly is actually airing on TV and has aired on TV. But at the end, everybody wins. You know, they get to have their documentary series air on TV, and at the same time, you have a lot more people who dislike it other than like it. So yeah, everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Well, hey, Nordic Wolf, you
And
want
the big
in?
question that I even have is that how do people define whiteness? Do you define whiteness by me being a patriot? Do you define whiteness by me liking to shoot glass bottles with a rifle? Do you define whiteness by me liking to hunt rabbits? Do you define whiteness by me, I don't know, wanting to shoot a deer and kill it and eat it? Do you define whiteness as someone who likes to listen to music by either Kenny Rogers or Willie Nelson? Do you define whiteness by the overall fact that I was born white? I really don't know. I really don't know. I don't understand how this documentary is helping by basically using white people as a scapegoat to all of the problems that people of color face in society. Now, I'll let you know that I actually watched it a little bit to see what the hype and the praise was all about. At least I gave it a chance, okay? You know what? It's not for me, okay? It's not, right? It's not for everybody. The ratings clearly state it. When you read the ratings and then you put 2 and 2 together, it clearly states that this documentary series is not for everybody, okay? It's not for me. It may be for some people, but let me tell you, it's not for me, okay? And I know that there are some people who I joined live streams with in the past, especially on the Ambiguous Bastards, who actually happen to be Black or Hispanic. And I personally want to hear what their thoughts are about this documentary series. And I don't know if there's any subscribers to me who are actually Black or Hispanic who like this documentary, but if you do, what are your thoughts about it? For those of you who don't like it, I like to hear what your thoughts are about it too. How does it help? Does it help this deal with the subject of racism by basically shitting on white people? Does it not help? Seriously, I really want to hear your thoughts again, because I think this is weird as heck. Please share with me in the comment section below, and I'll hopefully see you all in the next video. And until next time, peace out. And before, I'll let you guys know, before I started getting into like adding music to my end screens, I didn't think much about it just to avoid adding copyrighted music. But I think I'm getting better when it comes to like adding music for end screens. I probably just didn't know better, and I thought that the video itself was going to speak for itself. But I'm going to share with you guys some of the comments too. Felicia Amello says, fighting with racism just doesn't work, period. There are double standards. These double standards are what's causing division in society. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, Asian, Jew, or Hispanic. The only way to fight racism is through proper education and getting rid of stereotypes, period. Good video. This is a sickening documentary. Pure racism, to hell with it, and the ones who made it. And this Judah person says, you devils being exposed, LOL, worldwide. I don't even take that dude seriously personally. I think he's one of those dipshits who claims to be claiming that blacks were like the first Israelites or some shit. If you know if you know what I'm talking about.
Who the fuck's this guy? Yo, Judah, you devils being exposed, LL worldwide. What the fuck? I have no idea who this guy is.
That Judah, he's a black Hebrew Israelite ripoff. This guy.
Either doesn't want to be.
Black Hebrew Israelites are a new religious movement claiming that African Americans are descendants of the ancient Israelites. Some subgroups believe that Native and Latin Americans are descendants of the Israelites as well.
They yell Judah more and they talk about, they're the real lost tribe of Judah, whatever that bullshit is. There's like a lot of
exactly.
I hear that shit all the time. They're just crazy people. I'm not even going to get into that.
Yeah, it's like pseudoscience and pseudo-history all at the same time.
Yeah, they go out and just yell and scream and blaming white people and now blah blah blah. Like, oh, get out of here! You give bad people black name, bad people bad name. Not even blacks agree with your bullshit. And there's also Nation of Islam. They just wear that shit too. Don't get me started with those people. And I'm not even gonna even get started with that. They say some weird shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly. Oh, you're laughing about something? What is it?
Nothing. It's the jokes between Kyle and Jay.
Oh yeah, they're funny as hell. Yeah, Jay smoking weed. Yeah, I agree with you, Dark before X down. This is just bringing that out. Just an example. I agree with you. See, thank you, Bio. Thank you. Yeah, what's up, Bio?
Hey, Bio, you want in?
Yeah, I haven't heard him in a while. He's cool.
I'll see if I can let the stream into him, BioX1. I mean, he's free to join if he wants.
Yeah, Bio's cool. He's awesome. I haven't heard him in a while. He's been busy. We'll see. Yeah.
I just sent him the link. All that matters is whether or not he comes or not.
I want to kick the Easter Bunny's ass tomorrow. I don't care. I don't care if it's Easter. I'll just throw everybody. It's all paganism. I was joking. That's just in
I see Kyle wanted to stop in.
Yes, bring him here.
Bio.
Yo, what's up?
Hello.
What's up, fellas?
Hello, Wario.
Hey.
I'm high as fuck.
Yeah, I know you are.
Of course.
I see you changed your mind and wanted to join.
But you said you were at work. But welcome.
I am at work. Yeah. I'm on my phone.
High ass as always.
But you're high. I'm not gonna say nothing.
That was a joke.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Fine,
when am I not?
Yeah. So have you been reading any of these slides, Kyle? The slides that have been sharing on Instagram?
Yes.
They're so cringe, aren't they?
Yeah, man. I've fucking realized that they're just nothing but a bunch of fucking dumbasses.
I mean, since when was ever wanting to have 2 or 3 kids ever considered just only a white feature? Well,
that's fucking dumb. That's dumb.
He's just dumb.
Hey, who fucking cares?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, bacon is good.
Bacon.
Oh yeah, bacon.
I don't like the chewy bacon. The chewy bacon with some pink. I mean, crunchy bacon with no pink that tastes bitter, nasty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it!
I was having pizza earlier from Godfather's. That's what I was eating.
Oh,
Godfather's
pizza? How is it?
It's really good. Not like most pizza places. I was surprised by it.
Yeah,
Good pizza there, right?
Godfather's Pizza where I am, sadly, and that's too bad. I mean, I always wonder what Godfather's Pizza tastes like. I might have been to other pizza joints, either locally or nationally. Like the only national pizza places I know are Pizza Hut. Oh, thanks, BioX1. Thanks a lot. That helps a bit.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to share some of the slides again, just in case if you might have missed any, or if you're familiar with any of the ones or probably didn't know about any of them.
Jay, shut your ass up.
Yeah, knock it off, Jay. It's making me laugh. Knock it off.
So can you believe it? Of Kyle
Oh, you
Hawkins.
got with your fucking Bruce Lee dressing ass, fucking football shoulder pads head ass.
But this person is saying that vast majority of the holidays are based on Christian religions.
I don't fucking care about religion. I really don't.
Yeah.
But don't you agree that that's bullshit? Because again, I
Yeah, I mean it's all a bunch of bullshit, dude.
Christmas, Easter, and Halloween are pagan. They're pagan.
Well, luckily I'm a Norseman.
Hell yeah. Norseman's
I'm a
okay.
Norseman too.
Good
Woo!
speed.
1/4 Scandinavian. How about that?
Till
Nice.
Valhalla.
Yes.
Yeah.
May all Father Odin guide us.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Odin sent us here. That's why we're here.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I'm not any
Exactly. We out
specific
here.
religion, so don't
We
look
out
at me.
here
I
to
don't
cause bullshit.
Our theme song should be "The Immigrant Song" by Led Zeppelin.
Oh.
Oh,
No, I'm not really a fan of 60s, 70s music, if I'm being honest.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough, yeah.
I've been hearing it everywhere, and I'm tired of it.
No darkness.
But can you believe this, Kyle? The person is saying that being whiteness is defined by adhering to rigid time schedules, and time is viewed as a commodity. But time is a commodity, though.
Blah. It's all
time
a bunch of horse shit. Shut the fuck up.
Time does not grow on trees. Same thing with money.
It doesn't. Dude, I just had some fucking Subway earlier, and I'm already fucking hungry. Damn it.
What?
He said he's had Subway earlier and he's already hungry.
Because I'm high.
Munchy, munchy, munchy.
Subway fresh.
THC works in mysterious ways on the human brain.
TMI.
Yeah, well, anyways, guys, I'm going to get off of here, so thanks for letting me stop in.
No problem.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right, see you
Well,
later.
Have a great day.
bye.
I don't know what the fuck. Okay, from the look. I don't know why is Zerka. Is he trying to turn the camera? Because if he did it, it has to be unintentional.
I'm gonna. Here's the thing. Now, I'm not gonna keep this stream private for a while. I'm only gonna keep it private for a while. It's not gonna be private permanently. What I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna see if I can be able to edit something so that way I can avoid like sharing personal information, like my personal Facebook and everything, just to avoid getting doxxed by some certain trolls. You know.
Yes, you might be able to.
Yeah, hopefully. If not, I could probably just download this once this is done. Once this live stream is done, and then edit that, trim that part out, and then re-upload it again in a video format.
Oh yeah, I agree with Bio. I stopped going to Subway.
Yeah, Subway's like, it's okay. Yeah, I like some good sandwiches out there.
Subway is okay, but the problem is that it's not really easy to go to Subway and not then think of that sicko, that Jared Fogle piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was a sponsor until he fucked up, until he got involved in kiddie board and that sick fuck. Yeah, he's irrelevant now. Fuck Jared Fogle, that weird guy.
Yeah.
Like people look up to him. Oh, he fought obesity and shit. He was fat and lost weight, and now until
he fought obesity. Whoop-de fucking do. So what? This still doesn't stop him from all the sick things he's done. He's still done some fucked up shit.
I know. I'm not defending him. I'm saying all this.
Of course,
shit
yeah, I know.
I know. I'm just saying, like all that people look up to him, all this shit, and then look what the fuck happened. Another piece of he's another scumbag. I don't know. These people like who people look up to that guy until we found the dark side, his evil side. It's like what the fuck. Anyway,
Hey,
fuck
True
that.
Anonymous. Hey, Anthony Luna.
What's up, man? How you guys doing?
All good.
Hey, Anonymous.
What's up, Fire Lord?
Good to see you again at a time that is coincidental.
I know, right?
So, True Anonymous, haven't you been hearing or reading all these slides that have been sharing? This stuff is pure cringe, isn't it?
Seems like it.
But can you believe this? Apparently, whiteness is defined by the holidays being based on Christian religions, when knowing damn well a majority of the holidays we celebrate, the predominant ones are Christmas, Easter, Halloween. They're all pagan. So this is really a Christian thing.
Wait, they're calling it whiteness?
Yeah.
That seems a bit racist.
It is. It is. I thought that everyone celebrated Christmas, well, except for some Jewish people, but there are some Jewish people that celebrate Christmas, but still, you get what I mean. And there are some Jewish people who are white, but I thought black people celebrate Halloween too, and black people who celebrate Christmas,
Yep.
And Easter.
Oh, God. That reminds me of somebody that we all know with a crooked eye that doesn't celebrate the holidays.
Oh, don't get me started with that guy. No. That guy. I'm not even going to... Don't even say his name. He'll come here like, oh, you talk about me here. You stop talking about me. Therefore. No, I don't want to... Yeah, he's going to... Yeah, I'm not going to even...
Yeah, good idea.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, just don't say his name.
Yeah, because, he gets triggered as fuck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And whiteness apparently is defined as adhering to rigid time schedules, which I'm sure you believe is bullshit too, huh, True Anonymous?
Yep.
I mean, it's important to be punctual. I mean, you don't want to go to work late unless you want to get fired,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, this woman who also wrote all this is saying that being competitive, all these characteristics of being competitive, being number one, when trying to win at all costs, action orientation, master and control nature, must always do something about a situation, aggressiveness and extroversion. Apparently, that's what whiteness is. And I said this before, if that were true, then why are there black people or mixed race people and whatever in the NBA or the NFL who are working to be good sports players? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the person who wrote this article, this person's logic is so fucking stupid. I might share a few things more than I might end around, like within a couple minutes from now or so, but a lot sooner, if anything. And last but not least, the person says that the ideal white aesthetics are based on European culture, woman's beauty based on blonde, thin Barbie, which the person who even wrote this didn't even bother to mention that the fact that there are actually some white folks who actually like Asian women, and Latino women.
No, screw Barbie.
I know, screw Barbie. That movie coming up. They look fucking cringe. That movie.
Barbie's cringe anyway. That's like the stereotypical toy in itself. Anyways, I don't even know of any girls in this day and age who actually like Barbie.
Yeah, and
Other than they're like, oh, Barbie with the color pink and all that crap. It gets on my nerves.
I know, it's fucking annoying.
Fucking Barbie is like irrelevant. Fuck Barbie.
Exactly. Yeah, it is. They're making a Barbie movie. Like, fuck off with that shit. Like,
Didn't we have a Barbie song in the 90s?
Yeah, you did.
Barbie. Yeah, Barbie's girl. And there's one that's out now that's gay as crap.
It's so
the movie's coming up. I don't fucking care about that. Fuck.
I mean, Disney princesses are way more relevant than that Barbie bullshit.
I better want that shit exactly.
I wish I had a flamethrower and burn Barbie. Like, burn.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, put it in the put them all the Barbies in a trash can and burn them.
Exactly.
Honestly, I'm gonna say this: I'd sit through a Disney princess movie than a Barbie movie.
Exactly. I read about you Disney Princess
Yeah.
movie.
Besides, Disney princesses, they have a good reputation with a lot of good movies, like Beauty and the Beast. That's a good one.
Aladdin.
Yeah,
Aladdin's
Aladdin.
good.
Gilbert
Great
Gottfried.
Mouse Detective.
Rest his soul.
I don't know if there are any Disney film than that, and then a Barbie film.
Yeah.
Well, True Anonymous, you wanted to say?
I was just going to say Mulan. I don't know.
Yeah, you could consider that a Disney princess movie. Because being a princess doesn't consider like it's not like based solely around the fact that you're just a damsel in distress. Being a princess is like a woman who's special in some way. It could either because they're really good at something, they could be good at mathematics, they could be good at strength, you know. So being again a princess is not always defined as being a damsel in distress. Well, Mulan is a good example because even though she's like a woman, she's far from being that stereotypical damsel in distress. She wants to be in the Chinese army against everyone else's wishes, even though they allow guys. But she proves them that even though that being a good fighter has nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just chose non-Disney princess. That's why I said the movie I did.
Read this one more. Okay. I rarely ever watch modern day movies these days. I prefer movies that were released in the 90s and the 2000s.
Same here.
Yeah,
Same
good
here.
choice.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here, or even earlier than that.
Well, other than that, I really don't know what else to talk about. I think we've covered more than enough when it comes to this divisive bullcrap. This slide here, this set of slides about how whiteness is defined when it comes to white culture. So other than that, I'm probably going to stop right here for now. If any of you guys like this live stream, drop a like, share, comment, subscribe for more videos and live streams in the future. And I thank all of you for deciding to join my live stream here on WYPSYT. Take care and stay safe, especially at a time like this. And bye-bye.
Definitely. Bye-bye.
Later.
Later.